Hello everyone, it is spooky season. Well, it will be tomorrow because I'm recording this on August 31st. I don't know if this video is gonna go up today or tomorrow on September 1st, but it is finally spooky season again, the beginning of fall, the best time of the year because it's not gonna be freaking hot anymore. It's actually gonna start cooling down next week apparently, or this coming week, because we had a week like middle of August where it felt like fall the entire week, and then this past week it's been in the 90s and it's been atrocious, but it's actually supposed to start cooling down next week and I'm so excited. So yeah, I have all my fall decor out. I decided to leave Mr. Jack turned around because this is a spooky season video. Otherwise he'd probably be like this and we see his butt, but Jack is here and he's ready to go. And yeah, that's what I named my jack-o'-lanterns. I named him Jack. Very original, Christy. You're a writer and that's what you name your jack-o'-lantern. You just name him Jack. Yes. Because I'm lazy. So we have all of my fall decor out. I got it out this morning. I'm so excited. I want to listen to classical music and dance in the leaves, but apparently the leaves have not gotten the message yet because it's still green outside. But enough about me being weird about autumn because it's my favorite season, and I also just love I've always had a love of like spooky things. So I don't celebrate Halloween, but I do celebrate spooky season. So that's September and October for me, just having fun, enjoying like ghost stories and like the comedic, funny, dark movies, because I love comedic, dark humor movies. But this is a spooky season TBR video. So I am not just covering books. Okay, we're going to talk about movies and TV shows too. The TV shows list is actually kind of small. So if you have suggestions for spooky TV shows for me to watch, please just send them my way because I don't really have any. My plan is to try and get through all of these things that I have on my list by the end of October. But these are also suggestions for you. But these are just my specific list of what I want to watch, read for just spooky season, because it's finally fall and fall feels like spooky season. I want to go sit in an old Victorian house and again listen to classical music and watch the leaves fall, but unfortunately I don't have access to a Victorian house. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna start this video, I'm gonna save the books for last. I'm gonna start this video with movies because that is the longest list I have. Well, it's about the same length as my book list, but I have some really good movies on here. So I have watched most of these movies already. There's only one movie on this list that I haven't watched, but these are all like most of these, there's one movie on here that's not. Most of these movies are dark comedy movies, the kind that have a special place in my heart and I exclusively watch during fall because they just feel like autumn movies. So we're gonna go on this list because we're gonna talk about it. So the first movie I have on this list is Death Becomes Her. If you have seen the new Sabrina Carpenter music video, that's what that's based on. Death Becomes Her is a 90s movie. It has Meryl Streep in it, who is a fantastic actress. Love her. It is about these two women who are fighting over a dude and they figure out how to become immortal, but that just means that things get very comically gory because they're constantly trying to kill the other person or cause them so much harm. And it's one of those things that really touches my specific sense of humor, which is very dark and funny. And it's just such a good movie. It is, if you don't like gore, not a good movie for you, but it is really stinking hilarious. And I can't wait to watch it again. I think it's on Prime, so I'm gonna watch that. The next movie, this is another one of my favorite like fall autumn movies is Practical Magic. This is another 90s movies because apparently they made really good spooky movies in the 90s. Most of these movies are from the 90s or earlier. You'd think I was born in the 90s, but I was born in 2000. So the next movie, Practical Magic. I love this movie. I've only seen it once so far, but it's about, I can't exactly remember the entire storyline, but it's basically like this witch who's kind of retired. She doesn't really do magic anymore. Her boyfriend or husband or someone gets murdered, killed, or something like that, and he starts haunting them, and so she has to deal with that and become a witch again to actually deal with this ex-boyfriend or whatever that's haunting her. I feel like I remember there being a zombie involved, but I don't exactly remember. But I am gonna watch it again, and I'm very excited because it was so good last time, and I just was like, this is so spooky and cozy and autumny, and I'm just like very excited. Next one is Beetlejuice. I have never watched this movie. This is the one movie on the list I haven't watched. But one of my friends, she is obsessed with Beetlejuice, and the next movie, the Beetlejuice 2 is coming out. Beetlejuice is coming out. If they do a third one, will Beetlejuice show up every single time someone talks about him? Like, I know the basic plotline of Beetlejuice. I'm very excited. I have not watched it. Last time I was thinking about watching it, it was not fall, it was not spooky season. I was like, I gotta hold off on this. I kind of want to get my friend who's obsessed with it to come over and watch it with me. So if you're watching this, you know who you are, hit me up. I'm excited to watch Beetlejuice. I actually see it for the first time, but I do want to watch it with her if I can. And I'm sure she'll say yes, because why would she not? Hocus Pocus, that's the next one. Another kind of comedic witchy movie. It's again 90s movie. It's about these 3 witches from the Salem witch trials who were put to death, but then someone finds their old spell book and brings them back to life in the 90s, and it just goes horribly wrong, and they have to put the witches back in their place, like kill them basically. There's a second movie. I watched it, came out last year. It wasn't as good as the first one. I didn't really like it that much. It just wasn't the vibe. The first one's definitely really good. The Addams Family movies. Okay, if you know me, you know that I love the Addams Family. I love the TV show. I love the movies. So I want to watch all the Addams Family movies again this fall because I love them. The Addams Family, they're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. I always put Morticia and Gomez on like a pedestal because I feel like their relationship is like perfection because they just love each other so deeply, and I feel like there aren't a lot of representations of really good, wholesome love in movies and TV shows, and I feel like they're a really good representation of that. I mean, Gomez gets a little spicy sometimes, but we love him. Anyways, I love the Addams Family in general. The movies were pretty good. Also, like, just Wednesday is like, she's my favorite character all the time. Next one's Dead Poets Society. I think most people know what this movie is about. I've only seen it once, and it was a couple years ago, and I do want to rewatch it, so I'm planning on rewatching it this fall. But I know it's about like a group of kids, and they're in some fancy school, and they hate poetry, but what's his name? I can't remember his name. It's not John Williams, because that's a composer, not who I'm thinking of. Oh, I'm gonna Google it because I need to know. Let's see, Dead Poets Society. I feel like everyone that watches this video is being mad at me for not remembering. Robin Williams. I feel like everyone's gonna be mad at me for not remembering that name, but you know what? I remember faces, not names. So that's what the problem is. But he comes in and he teaches them to love poetry, and it ends up with some interesting consequences. That's all I'll say. But it is a really good movie. It's a classic. I really liked it the first time I watched it, and I want to watch it again, so we're gonna do that. As I said, I don't have many TV shows on here, and I've also already mentioned both of them because they both are in relation to the Addams Family. So the first one's Wednesday, came out last year on Netflix. I told my husband he could get rid of Netflix and I want to rewatch Wednesday. I'm gonna have to watch it right away. I loved Wednesday. I thought it was such a great show. I loved the way that Wednesday was portrayed. I thought it was perfect. Stuck to the actual like classic character of Wednesday. But I loved, and I can't wait for the second season to come out. It was such a good little show. Anyways, Wednesday goes to a school and her parents are like, we're gonna send you to finishing school or something like that, and she doesn't want to go, but she goes anyways, and she meets a guy. Things are weird. It's interesting. It's creepy and it's kooky, mysterious and spooky, and I loved it. The second one is the Addams Family TV show from the 50s that I adore and I love watching. Just sometimes I get in the mood where I want to watch old 50s and 60s like sitcoms and just TV shows like Gilligan's Island and Addams Family and the Munsters and all of that. Munsters, I need to add that to my list. I need to add the Munsters to my list. But like, I love shows like that. They're just cozy and just wholesome, and I love them. So definitely gonna watch the Addams Family TV show. If you haven't watched it before, I highly suggest it. It's on Amazon Prime. You should watch it because it's just so hilarious. It's genuinely good comedy, and I love the Addams Family. I love them. They're amazing. But yeah, let's get into books. It's time for books. I don't plan on these books that I'm listing being the only books that I read in September and October. I will definitely be reading more than just this because this is, I think, 7 books. So I will definitely be reading more than just this, but these are my spooky books. I also plan on reading some like mystery and science fiction, just whatever floats my boat, but we're gonna get into these. So I have 3 physical books first, and then I have 4 that I'm gonna read on my Kindle that I either own or are on Kindle Unlimited. So the first one, this is one I picked up a while ago and I've been saving for spooky season. It is called Dreadful, and I just want to take a moment to appreciate this beautiful cover and also these edges, because this is it's just gorgeous. And even if I don't like this book, like normally if it's a 3-star or lower book, I will donate it or I will sell it to Mr. K's and get book money. But this is going to stay in my collection even if I don't like it, just because it's gorgeous and I love it. But I think I'm going to enjoy it either way. So basically, I'm going to read the thing. It's bad enough waking up in a half-destroyed evil wizard's workshop with no eyebrows, no memories, and no idea how long you have before the dread lord, whomever, shows up to murder you horribly and then turn your skull into a goblet or something. It's a lot worse when you realize that dread lord whomever is you. So basically, this guy wakes up in a castle and full of goblins and a princess and that is captured, and he finds out that he has no memory of what has happened, and so he has to find out, will he be the villain or will he be the hero in the story? And this just sounds so interesting and like fun, and I'm very excited. We got a V.E. Schwab book. We're sticking with the red, I feel like. V.E. Schwab, which I love V.E. Schwab. I love her books. I haven't liked every single book that I've read by her, but she is one of my favorite authors. And I found this I think I found it in Mr. K's. And I was just like, I'm gonna take this. because sounds cool. It's called The Near Witch. Again, cover is gorgeous. Like, I like that there's a little crow there. Anyways, The Near Witch is only an old story told to frighten children. If the wind calls at night, you must not listen. The wind is lonely and always looking for company. There are no strangers in the town of Near. These are the truths that Lexi has heard all of her life. But when an actual stranger, a boy who seems to fade like smoke, appears outside of her home on the moor at night, she knows that at least one of these sayings is no longer true. The next night, the children of Near start disappearing from their beds, and the mysterious boy falls under suspicion. As the hunt for the children intensifies, so does Lexi's need to know about the witch that just might be more than a bedtime story, and about the history of this nameless boy. So, sounds perfect for spooky season. We're gonna go on a witch hunt. It's gonna be fun. Wake the Bones. I found this a while ago, actually, in the Goodwill, like, secondhand bookshop. I didn't really like it very much, but I found this book, and it looks really interesting. I also really love the cover. Again, I always pick up books with pretty covers. I try not to let that influence me buying a book, but sometimes it does. The sleepy little farm that Laurel Early grew up on has awakened. The woods are shifting, the soil is dead under her hands, and her bone pile just stood up and walked away. And I'm gonna leave it at that because it just, that's enough for me. That's enough. I'm excited for some dark spooky magic. Yeah, so I have like a little blurb for each of these. So this one is dark funny magic. This one is modern day evil witch. I assume she's evil at least. And this one is spooky earth magic. I'm very excited for all of these, so it's gonna be a good time. I'm very excited. Those are the physical books, so those are gonna come off of my physical TBR, which eventually I am going to make a TBR like thing of like talking about all the books that are on that shelf. Which it is I'm starting to make room on there, which is great. But yeah, I didn't do that at some point. But let's get into like the actual, like the other books, the ones that are on my Kindle. But I'm gonna be reading the little blurb off of Goodreads because that's easier. I have like a weird throat thing going on, so like talking a lot is not helping, but it's fine. It's fine. The Warm Hands of Ghosts. This is one I found just like a couple weeks ago and got because it sounds so interesting. So basically it's a really long blurb, so I'm gonna just explain it. So basically it's set during World War One. And so this woman, she's a nurse and her brother's a soldier, and her brother supposedly dies. And so she like is just like, oh my goodness, my brother died. And she's like grieving, like seriously grieving. But then I think a ghost starts coming and haunting her or something. And so she goes out to try and find her brother. And it just sounds really sweet and like endearing. And so I'm really excited to read it. And I found it on Kindle for like $2. So I was like, of course I'm gonna get it. Yeah, she starts getting haunted. Sounds pretty interesting. The next one that I have is The God of Endings. Okay, and I need to read this blurb to you because it's so good. Colette Lissang has been hiding a dark secret. She is immortal. In 1834, Colette's grandfather granted her the gift of eternal life, and since then she has endured centuries of turmoil and heartache. Now, almost 150 years later, I would like to put in here that is not centuries, that is 1.5 centuries, okay? That's not centuries plural. That's like 1 century and then 50 years. Now, almost 150 years later, Colette is a lonely artist running an elite fine art school for children in upstate New York. But her life is suddenly upended by the arrival of a gifted child from a troubled home, the return of a stalking presence from her past, and her own mysteriously growing hunger for blood. Because she's a vampire. I desperately want to find vampire novels that do not include romance, because I feel like the romance ones just kind of are icky and novel. So I want to find vampire novels that do not involve romance, or the romance is the subplot. And I think this sounds like it's going to be that. So if you have suggestions for me, please give them, because I want more like that. Give me Dracula vibes. Yeah. Next one is The Spirit Bears Its Teeth. This is by Andrew Joseph White. This is another one set in the 1800s. Yeah, this is about a medium that doesn't want to be a medium. He has the ability to see through the veil, but he doesn't want to have it, and he doesn't want anything to do with it. Also, he's autistic. So I just, it sounds really interesting, and apparently, like, there's just a lot of spicy magic in here. Not spicy romance way, but just like dark magic that this person is fighting against, and has to like use to save the world. So I'm very interested and excited. Next one is The Poisoner. I also just found this book, and it is about Alina Liss, a botanist and hobbyist poisoner, has a pastime of killing unsavory men in her twisted sense of poetic justice. When she targets the conceited playboy, Silas Forbes, only to find him in her apothecary the following week, she discovers human men are the least of her problems. The pair's unlikely association sparks gossip among affluent society. As their mysterious bond deepens, a chilling truth emerges, concealed identities, lurking foes, and questions as plentiful as the Hydra's head brew within this haunting gothic tale of violent passion. Which makes me think that it's probably going to have some spicy scenes in it, but as long as I can skip them, I'm okay. I'm not a big fan of spicy scenes. That's like not my thing. But as long as I can skip them, like sometimes you read books and you can easily skip the scenes and it's fine. It doesn't affect your reading the story. But I'm worried that this one is going to be, we'll see. Apparently this one has vampires again, but this one's vampire romance. So we'll see how this goes. But I like to read books before I give them a yes or no. If there's something in it that's up my alley, I try reading it. If it's not good, it's not good. That's okay. Like, you can not like books. You can DNF books. That's perfectly all right. But yeah, those are all the books that I'm planning on reading. For Warm Hands of Ghost, I put historical ghost mystery. The God of Endings is just vampires. The Spirit Bears Its Teeth, autistic seer and ghosts. And The Poisoner, historical poisonous romance. That's the one that's on Kindle Unlimited, so I don't own that one. The other three I do own on Kindle, that I've gotten them on sales and stuff. The Poisoner's the one that I'm not entirely sure if I'll like or not, and I might end up not reading it now that I'm just thinking now. I'm just like, maybe I won't read it, but I don't know. I should read it. Then we can talk about it, and it'll be great. I think I'm going to sneeze. Nope, it's passed. No, wait. I think I'm good. That's gonna be a fun little thing. Yeah, those are the books that I want to read. I'm very excited for all of them. Anyways, that's my TBR for spooky season for September and October. I will definitely be reading more books than just these, but we'll see what those are. I don't know. I am a mood reader, so I will definitely be in the mood to read these books because it's spooky season and I want to read the spooky books, but I will definitely want to be reading more. And I've actually been, at the end of this month, just been like getting more into sci-fi and stuff that's not fantasy. Not that I'm getting tired of fantasy, but like I need a change for just a little bit, just to kind of give me a little bit of a break. And that usually happens, that I just need a little break from fantasy, which is my favorite genre, to read other things. So right now I'm reading a little bit of sci-fi. I read A New Hope, actually, which we're going to talk about that in my next video, which is going to come out my August reading wrap up is coming out next weekend, hopefully. Haven't recorded it yet because I still have 2 books I need to finish, and it's the last day of August, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm just very excited to read all these books and watch these movies and just have a really good start to autumn, since it is my favorite season, and I am just excited for the fact that I'm not in school finally for fall. Like, this is my first fall where I don't have classes, I don't have homework, I can just genuinely just do whatever I want. I can bake whatever I want, I can read whatever I want. It's great. Like, I'm very, very excited to just have free time, and I've been doing a lot of writing. Like, Lord have mercy, I am doing a lot of writing. If you want to know more about that, if you want to know more about all of my cool things that I'm working on, I would suggest going to my website, which is christydarling.com. I'll put it in the little description box. I don't know what this was, but apparently that means description box. I'm going to put that in there. If you go there at the bottom of the homepage, there is a spot where you can sign up for my newsletter, which is going to include a Substack post, which you can also find my Substack through my website, a devotional, and like life update, writing update, music, all of that, all those updates. So I hope that you will go look at that and like sign up, because I'm trying to get people to sign up, because my first one is going to come out next month and I'm very excited. So first newsletter, I think I'm going to do it on October 1st. That's going to be like for the month of September. Well, that wouldn't make sense. I need to go back and look at my content calendar. I also spent like a good day and a half making a content calendar for the rest of the year. So my plan is to be posting on this channel once a week, and my main channel, which I hopefully this weekend will also be putting up an intro video over there. I'll also put that link in the description box. So I will be putting up a intro video over there so that I can start posting about my other passions besides books and writing, which is, you know, philosophy, religion, theology, that sort of thing. So I'm going to start doing that, but I'm very, very excited to be doing this. Hopefully I'm going to start doing some vlogs too at some point. I don't know what that's going to look like because I don't really get out much, but we'll see what happens. I have lots of good things planned, and I'm really going to try and start building up this channel. So please like and subscribe. Send these videos to other people you think that would enjoy watching me ramble for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it ends up being. But I'm just really excited. This is a good time in life where I'm no longer in school and I can actually focus on all of my projects and hobbies and things that I really do enjoy. Like, I enjoyed school, but your girl needs a break to do other things. So thank you for joining me today and listening to me ramble about all the things that I am very excited to be reading and watching in the next couple of months. And happy spooky season, happy fall, happy autumn, whatever you say. I'm very excited. Bye.